It's the end of 2023, everyone, and here are a lot of cars that are not making it to 2024. Starting off with a car that should have been gone a long time ago, the Toyota Avalon will not be making it to 2024. Thank God it shouldn't have made it to 2023. After the refresh with the big old ES300 Lexus look that it basically has, it's like you charge the same amount for the same car, for the same front-wheel drive V6. We don't need more front-wheel drive V6. We have enough of those full-size sedan front-wheel drive V6. No more front-wheel drive V6. Honestly, I was gonna do scale, let's say 10 out of 10 should stay, 0 out of 10 glad it's gone. Let's do that. So I'd say 2 out of 10 glad it's gone. And those only 2 points come from probably the 2 people that still absolutely love buying that car, the 2 people that are planning to lease a new Avalon this year, all 2 of them.
Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! You stink!
Speaking of front-wheel drive V6, we're also no longer getting Nissan Maxima out. It's gone. It's done with. We had a nice run. I even drove one at some point as a daily driver. Nothing to write home about. It didn't remark me any different than if you got a V6 freaking Nissan Altima. It didn't really offered absolutely nothing. Just like the Avalon with the Camry counterpart that also had a V6. This car, similar to Avalon, should have been gone a long time ago, as 0 out of 10. The next car gone, one of my personal favorites, no longer getting a Dodge Charger. Thank goodness, the streets are gonna be safer, 0 out of 10, but with a caveat that it's probably gonna be back as a fully electric model that certain people who will not be named will love, I'm sure. Putting like a speaker on that to make it sound like it's revving and tearing up, like kind of like how that C6 kind of sounded, but an electric car.
Ha! Gay!
There's quite a few on this list, so we're just kind of gonna blaze through all the ones that are garbage to kind of leave room for some more at the top that are maybe a little sadder that they're going, or maybe that it's, it is the right time. We see why they're going. We see why that they're no longer being produced, whether we like it or not. Where the market's going, or where those manufacturers are going, how they're positioning their company it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense why some of these are going away. But what also makes perfect sense is why the Ford EcoSport is going away, because I don't even know what the EcoSport is. I think it's like the C-Max. I'm not sure. I don't know what the EcoSport is. Whoever's editing this will put a photo here. I'm guessing it's like the Ford Edge. I don't know, but I mean, who needs another Ford? It's fine. F-150, Ford Mustang, Ford GT, maybe. I think that's the only 3 vehicles you really need from Ford. One I did not expect on this list, and not in a good way, or not because, oh, it's gone, no. The Volkswagen Passat will not be making it to 2024, people. Who cares? 3 out of 10. Chevy Spark is sparking. There's no pun. 0 out of 10 Chevy Spark. I mean, who missed it? Who thought it was even getting made in 20? You're probably spending more money on a Chevy Spark than a Chevy Cruze from the last time that they were produced. It's kind of like the Honda Fit. You think that the Honda Fit's gonna run you a little bit less, but at the end of the day, you're just like, you know what? I'm buying a Civic. I'm spending the same amount of money. Might as well get a car that I want.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Similarly to the Dodge Charger earlier on this list, the Chrysler 300 has just seen its last production model come off the line. I audibly cheered when I seen the video of the last one being produced, because that means that's the last Chrysler 300 that's gonna be new, that's gonna end up on the street, that people are gonna call the GM Rolls Royce, or not the GM, that people are gonna call the Detroit Rolls Royce. I've had enough. Thank Christ, this shallow trunked, heavy laden, lethargic, not relevant in today's market looking vehicle, Bentley Bentayga wannabe, is no longer gonna be present. and I'm sure the last production model looked just as garbage as the 2008 model did. I'd say 5 out of 10, because at one point I did like this car. At one point I liked the Chrysler C300 because it came with a Hemi V8. It came with a Hemi V8 that you could supercharge. You know, you could make crazy power on it with not crazy budget. Problem is, the point of entry on the vehicle was always requiring way more of a budget unless you bought used. So, you know, the swings and roundabouts on that one, so that's why I give it a straight right down the middle, 50%, 5 out of 10. Infiniti Q60, I'm pretty surprised about this. I mean, Nissan doesn't really know how to take, or Nissan Infiniti doesn't really know how to take a hint when it comes to stop making this stupid freaking car. You know, I mean, they kept making the Maxima for this long. They don't understand. They still make the Versa, gosh darn it. Like, they have the Sentra. They still make the Versa. Like, so they're not somebody who takes criticism from their customers, because their customers love them, because their customers also don't recognize what a good vehicle or what a reliable car should act like. They're just so desensitized, and the word the Stockholmed. They're so Stockholmed by Nissan. So I'm surprised that the Q60 is going away. I think it's just the Q60 sedan. I don't know if it's the Q60S that's also going away. Maybe some information will pop up here. If it is, I don't know. I know that the Q60S Red Sport at some point, the Red Sport 400 Red Sport, that's honestly a fan favorite of mine. Not because it's good or anything, but I think it's a pleasant design. It's ergonomic. It looks good in the inside. I think it's competitively priced for its class, not for its cost of ownership, maintenance, you know, overall lifespan of the vehicle, all that kind of factored in. But I'd say if you wanted to get the equivalent of the Red Sport from, like, I'd say a 300 series or like an M4, you know, you're spending about $30,000 to $40,000 less, and it looks practically the same design wise, the same amount of perks and features. The only difference is that you're just going to pay Nissan or you're going to pay BMW, which you want to do. So I give it, I don't know if I gave it a rating already. Honestly, 6 out of 10, 6.5, 6.63 out of 10. It's fine enough. There's a lot of people that are going to miss it. There's a lot of people they're going to love it. I'm surprised they're taking it away, because I've not heard too much about Nissan as far as their electric front or replacing a lot of their line with electric vehicles. So, you know, pleasantly surprised. The guy who hates Nissan the most, me, but I'm honestly not super. I guess I'm medium pleased that it's gone.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Mercedes-Benz A-Class. I kid you not. I remember when the A-Class was announced. I remember, I think 2012, 2013, or not announced, but went into production. I remember when the A-Class went into production. I remember thinking, wow, like, there was the C-Class where people were just like, I really can't afford a Mercedes, but I can afford like a high dollar Accord or Toyota, so I'm gonna just get a C-Class. So I'm gonna get none of the gas mileage, none of the reliability, you know, maybe all the fun, I guess. C300, I've driven a couple C300s. They're not bad. They're comfortable. They ride smooth. They give you a classic Mercedes feel without any of the bells and whistles. It's just like a bare bones Mercedes experience. Not worth it in my book, you know, unless I think an E-Class or an S-Class. Me, I'm an E-Class, E63 AMG wagon guy. I love that. If that car goes away, which I think it's come and gone, I'm not sure. In the American market, it's so weird with wagons, but the E-Class AMG is where I'm at on that. That being said, if this is the C-Class going away, I think I'd be like, hey, you know what? Albeit the worst human beings on the planet got C-Classes, but hey, you know what? They loved them. So I would have given it like honestly, like a 7 out of 10 for that. But for the A-Class, I have no sympathy, because the absolute bottom of the flies wouldn't need the garbage kind of people that buy an A-Class Mercedes. So you know, 0 out of 10. I won't miss it. Nissan Kicks, I'm not going to spend any more time with it. If you don't know what a Nissan Kicks is, here it is. 0 out of 10. Who cares? It took them long enough, I'd say. Honda Insight. Honda fanboy through and through. Honda guy. I'm in a Honda right now. Acura. I'm in a Honda right now. Honda Insight, I couldn't give a crap less. 2 out of 10, because Honda famously doesn't really have hybrid models and a plethora of hybrid models. But maybe this will cause the Insight to drop low enough to where I might even consider getting one. So you know what? 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. I might buy a used one. Who knows? Kia Stinger. I saw this on the list. I'm honestly kind of a little upset. I don't give a crap about Kia. I don't give a crap about Hyundai. I think they're both mediocre automakers, but I think that they honestly hit some strides. They hit some center points with the car enthusiasts that actually bring in more car enthusiasts, I believe, that actually saturate this market a little bit more, bring in some more gross income to shops, brands, designers, artists, whatever, car artists, decals, liveries, body kits, Andro, Aero, all that stuff. I think that Kia and Hyundai are low-key presenters on that fact, that where they kind of come with a banger really quick and then just kind of they dip back. They hit with the Kia Stinger, but then they hit you with the...
A few moments later.
They hit you with the Kia Stinger, but then they still sell the Optima. But then they hit you with the K5. And then they revamp the Forte so that it looks just like a Nissan Sentra with a 2.0 turbo, I guess. But yeah, a little upset to see the Kia Stinger go. The GT2 Stinger, 3.3 liter turbo. Honestly, fan favorite. I'd say another 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Sad to see it go for myself, not only the enthusiasts or not only the people that are brought into the scope or to the realm or into the business, creating... because the more cars, I think not too many car enthusiasts talk about this, but the more cars that automakers are able to make available for a reasonable price, because this was like the budget M3. I'd say I would argue, if you don't agree in the comments, please leave your comment there so that I can block it. And then I can screenshot it and post it and print it out and use it as toilet paper. I think that the Kia Stinger GT2, the GT2 Stinger was a budget M3. Like, I honestly, if I was in the market, if I was in the place to buy one, I would go and buy one now. I've always liked it since it came out. Again, not a fan of Kia, but I'm a fan of that car. I'm a fan of that platform. I'm glad that platform is being carried over with Genesis. Genesis carries over that platform with the 3.3 liter turbo, and they show no signs of stopping on creating, honestly, pretty slightly above average quality luxury vehicles for I'd say a market average luxury price. So and a lot of people aren't really in there with Genesis and like with like what's they're going on with their mission statement. I think more people should get on that, because what I was alluding to earlier, the more people that get into this space, the more cars that are made that allow people to either afford it on a certain budget, or that allow people of a higher or lower budget to be like, oh, you're telling me I don't have to just get something that's like a underperforming hybrid or an awkwardly fitted 4-cylinder motor. Like, it looks nice, it runs smooth, but like there's no performance or there's no utility to this. But that kind of gets dissipated, gets diluted when companies do what Kia did, what Hyundai's been doing, what Genesis is trying to do, and what Honda, Toyota, all these different people, right? They all come with new ideas. When they actually come with an idea that helps bring more people into the fold, that helps create jobs for shops, and especially on a decline with the gas market, as electric starts to take over more. We need that. We need just those couple little hitters left. We need those couple little cars, which unfortunately some of them are going away in this list, but unfortunately for the Kia Stinger, it's going away. So again, 7 out of 10. The Hyundai Ascent, the smaller Elantra. When I worked for Hyundai, we didn't sell jack for the Ascent. It was cheaper than the Elantra, but you could immediately recognize that this thing was a hunk of living garbage. It was a Nissan Versa with a Hyundai badge. Like, it looks almost identical. Maybe I'll put them side to side. In my eyes, they look almost identical. Just as uncomfortable, just as lackluster, just as not coming with anything whatsoever. In 2021, I don't even think it came with Apple CarPlay standard. Even to this day, maybe, I'm not sure, but I would venture a guess. So 0 out of 10. I don't even know why I spent so much time on it. Hyundai Ascent, look it up. It's crap. Look it up. Hyundai Ioniq, another Hyundai. Hyundai and Kia are really slimming the pickings of their lineup. They're really trimming the fat of what they got coming out of the production house of both sides of Hyundai and Kia. And I know why. We all know why, because the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6 is doing excellent, and the Ioniq N, and you know, Kona Electric. Maybe the Kona Electric might be going away too, but probably not this year. Either way, all of that, you know, all that is kind of in the culmination of Hyundai really riding the wave of how popular the, you know, Kia EV6 has been, the Kia EV9, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Fan favorites all around, and kind of that same thing, even though I'm not the hugest proponent of electric vehicles, but in that same vein, it does bring more money into the industry. More, you know, people are selling more wheels, selling more body kits, selling more parts, selling more suspension, selling more coilovers. You know, there all these different things that go into it. Maybe not exhaust so much because it's electric, but it brings people into the fold, and it's bringing more and more people, whether they're toxic or not because they drive electric. I don't know, but I'm not going to comment on that.
A few moments later.
The Hyundai Ioniq started it all with a Prius wannabe that honestly I liked a little bit more than the Prius. Not the new Prius. The new Prius is banging. But I liked it just at the time a little bit more than the Prius. I think in like 2018, 2019. Liked it just a hair more. So I'd say 4 out of 10 for it to go. You know, I would say I'm understanding of why it's going. Super supportive of it. Just kind of, you know, just phasing it out of the lineup. But for the time that it was here, I feel that it, you know, the Hyundai Ioniq kind of set this standard, or like a mission to propel Hyundai and Kia into electric. The Ford Edge is going away. I like the Ford Edge ST. 6 out of 10. Lamborghini Aventador. I'm upset that the Aventador is going away because I've always wanted, I think it's an Aventador, is it STO or SVJ? It's one of those. I'll figure it out. I'll put it here. But there's a specific Aventador that I've absolutely fallen in love with in the last, I think it's 6 years that it's been in production. This specific Aventador, not saying the Aventador has only been in production for 6 years. But sad to see it go. 9 out of 10. Aventador, similar to, like, you know, Murcielago, Diablo.
A few moments later.
Lamborghini in my bikini. I love Lamborghini. I'm not a luxury, but I'm not a supercar person. Like, give me a 98 Civic, give me give me a Corolla AE86, Toyota AD86, and I'm good. I'm Gucci flip-flops. Like, I like an old car, I like a functional car. But I've always had a soft spot for Lamborghini, mostly knowing because I'll never own one. But I've always had a soft spot for, is like, you know what, like, Pagani's cool, Ferrari's cool. There's Ferraris I like, definitely there's Ferraris I like. Porsche is definitely super sweet. You know, Porsche is it's Porsche. Like, GT3 RS, GT2 RS, 911S Turbo, Carrera F4S, like all this, a lot of great cars. But Lamborghini Aventador has always just caught my eye in my favor. I'm like, man, I would drive that thing into the ground if it wouldn't explode on me. But honestly, 10 out of 10. Sad to see it go. Sad to see not to see more development with the Aventador, because I think we're going into this electric phase, and I think there's even premiered an electric SUV or an electric coupe, something like an electric form or electrified form of a Urus coming out. I don't know, but I'm not excited about it. 10 out of 10. Sad to see it go. So that's, now we're kind of getting into the ones that maybe I'm a little bit more sad to see go. Now we're getting into the ones I'm a little bit more sad to see go, a little bit more that maybe you might enjoy. Let me know down in the comments, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. You don't have to like the video, especially if you didn't, but leave me a comment and tell me why you didn't. So Lamborghini Aventador, and it's weird that I talked about this before this car, but there's a reason. Lamborghini Aventador, I'm not going to be able to afford. The SVJ, the Cyan, whatever it is, the STO, whatever kind of Aventador that it was I was talking about, I got to figure it out. I can't remember right now. That all being aside, I can't afford that, right? Like, I can't be, but I would have been able to or I could right now reasonably afford this car that's going away. A Veloster, a Hyundai Veloster N, to be specific. I don't know if the whole Veloster lineup is going away. I do know that the N is going away. I like the N. I like the Veloster N. I like the N line. I don't like the N line because for some reason Hyundai's American naming convention is just retarded. But there's an N line, and then there's N vehicles, and then there's N, I don't know. But the N vehicles, like kind of like BMW, right? Not an M package, an M. I like the N Hyundai Veloster. I like the Hyundai Veloster N. I think it serves a purpose. I think it fits just like a glove. In the hot hatch market, the Hyundai Veloster N tickles my pickle when it comes to that. I think that they should have continued to, build on it. If sales didn't meet with it, okay, cool. Then obviously I can't justify it. But 10 out of 10, sad to see it go, because I would have loved to see them just improve on the model. Been like, okay, you know what? We're going to take this hot hatch formula. We got a front wheel drive, 2.0 turbo, 273 wheel horsepower, Veloster N. Now we're going to make it an all-wheel drive time attack beast. We're going to make it a rally competitor. We're going to make people wish that they had hopped on this platform sooner before now. I think in Korea, or more, like in the Eastern culture, I think there is like a circuit and everything like that. I'd love to go be a part of that Hyundai, that N circuit. But as for here in America, it's got a coffin and it's dead. All right. Another one I'm sad to see it go, Acura ILX. I liked it. It was a better Civic. 9 out of 10, sad to see it go. Needed improvement. 8 out of 10 because it needed a lot of improvement. It needed work. Needed interior and exterior, to ramp it up. Really kind of just make it stand out in its class. Because it didn't stand out in price. It didn't stand out in functionality. It didn't stand out in build and trim. So it could have stood out as far as like the experience, the ride, the way that it drove and the way that it presented itself, like interior wise. The exterior, I liked it. 8 out of 10, sad to see it go. Acura NSX, last and final one. There might be more. There's the Buick Encore, 0 out of 10. I forgot to mention it. Buick Encore, 0 out of 10. Acura NSX, I'm sad to see it go again, but similar to like how it came back, I think it'll come back again. All electrified, all electric, looking like how the Tesla Roadster should have looked. It'll just, I'm not excited about it. I'm 10 out of 10. Sad to see it go. I would love to have gotten an Acura NSX Type S before it went away. But I unfortunately do not have $250,000 to spend, so I will not be getting one anytime soon. But you guys might help change that. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, and leave a like if you want to see these videos similar to this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.